My name is Quamaine Giles. I'm an abstract painter, a community builder, a curator as well. I'm from a small town in Virginia where I was raised around farming, and carpentry is my great uncles and my grandfather was a logger. So all of these things, as far as just working with your hands and just working with found objects as well, I've seen a lot of that stuff as a kid, and it kind of resonated with me. And it's just like, okay, well, this is probably tapped into like where I'm from and where I grew up, and I felt a little bit more connected to this stuff. So that's just kind of where I've taken it the last 3 years. And now it's just about trying to evolve and just make better work each time. I got into the love of abstraction just by viewing it at museums. And also I went to a liberal arts school, so I would also work in the fine art department as a security guard. And I would obviously just walk around and admire a lot of the artists' work as well. And that's kind of just how I just fell back in love with art. And I just started to just try to learn a lot more about it once I graduated. So I was a computer engineering degree, so we would deal with a lot of circuit boards, building things. So I would make things from scratch, like vending machines, clocks, and stuff like that. So this sense of using my hands has always just been a thing that I love doing. So with the abstraction and with me working with found materials, I'm able to build things from these all small objects into something bigger and larger. And then I'm able to use it as a painting service to paint and create my paintings from. So I think that ability to take nothing and then build it into something kind of helped me from like my engineering background. Being mentored by Jamel Wright kind of took me in and kind of like saw what I was doing in the beginning as an abstract painter. And I think at that point I was more or less just making work and kind of just using the colors just as his thing. So for me, he started actually making me question a lot more of why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this, you know? So you start asking those questions, then I started getting a lot of more imagination of what things I could just use, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I don't have to just use a canvas anymore. I can use a t-shirt because I mean, it's cotton, you know, as well. So it's just me starting to think like that. It's like, so now I can see that all these things around me can be formed into art as well. It's just how I perceive it and look at it and turn it into that. I would say I never thought about being an artist as a kid because I didn't really know what an artist was. I just know that I was fascinated and I loved drawing. And I used to draw everything that I see. So I used to draw the Dragon Ball Z characters. I was also fascinated with cars. So I used to draw a lot of cars as a kid, trucks, tractor trailers. I used to draw all these things. And then I was also fascinated with karate. So I used to draw karate people. So it's just, I was always fascinated with drawing and just seeing a blank paper end up being something at the end after a while. And that's what I used to do as a kid. I used to actually, my time in the library, I would pick up drawing books on how to draw. Being able to take these everyday objects that people see and deal with on a day-to-day basis, and I can take those things and create them into a painting. And that will sometimes amaze me and also amaze the audience that the thing that they probably had in their hand today, they threw away, I turned it into a piece of art and I sold it to someone. And that can really be a big differentiator that I can see everything around me as a piece of art. And it's just how I perceive it and how I want to turn it into that. I love using cardboard, so you kind of see cardboard in a lot of my paintings. As far as mediums, as you can see in here, I use all the mediums. I use whatever my hands can get on, but the particular medium I really love is oil sticks. I just love oil sticks. To being able to just come over top and create mark making with those oil sticks is one of my favorite things. Abstraction is nothing but destruction. It's being disruptive, but I think you have to really learn about the craft so you know what you're disrupting. And yeah, you just gotta know what you're disrupting. If you just get in there and say, I'm gonna just do this, do that, it's you have no idea. You don't know how color theory works. You don't know what materials can necessarily bond with one another. So it's just a lot that you still have to research and find out about. When I took up framing, in 2019, from using just screws and the way that is, I wanted to hone in on making great frames. So I educated myself as well through YouTube videos and just watching people and seeing what people were doing. And then I wanted to make something slightly different as well. That's the reason why I started curving all of my frames. So now that when people see those curves, they know it's a Quamaine Giles frame out there, because you don't see curved frames. I can do it all, in a sense, like from building something to stretching canvases, making my own canvases, and then presenting it in a frame that is well presented, that I also created and built, When people see the presentation of my work, they want to know who framed it as well. And then I tell them that I did that, they're like, what the fuck? So you made the thing in it, and you also made the thing that is beautiful, that's surrounding it as well. And it's like, yeah, I take pride in what I do, no matter what it is. If my name is tied to it, I'm very prideful of that. You have to have imagination. If you don't have any sort of imagination, I don't think you wouldn't have the confidence to make the work that I'm making, right? I think that's where it is. My imagination really has to be really going. And me working with found materials, it juvenates and really ignites that imagination. It makes me really think of how can I use this, or what can I use this for? Do I want to just use this for the color, or just the materiality of it in itself? So that right there is for me right there. Because I think we live in a world where people are afraid to really express themselves or how they feel, because they feel they may be judged in a certain way. And I think at the end of the day, people can feel the way they want to feel, and they have that right. I want to be able to show people to have that courage to just put it out there, Don't worry about the criticism and whatever good or bad it may happen, As long as that you're satisfied with what you've put out there, you can't take any wrong from it, I guess, I can't sit still for nothing. I've always been that person that has to be doing something. I get bored easily. And me being able to be an abstract painter, it keeps me not bored, I'm able to really just do some things and be like, oh, why did I do that? I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. It allows me to do that and be that person. I want people to get a sense of courage, a sense of confidence, and a sense of ability to just put something out there because you really truly believe in it, because that's where I'm at. I didn't have a lot of people that believed in what I was going to do, or even me becoming a full-time artist, and it's nothing against them. They just didn't know what that looked like, and I didn't either, but it's something deep down in my heart that I needed to do for myself. I think one of the biggest challenges is obviously bringing in income, trying to find a steady, consistent income of necessarily what is it you're gonna do, how you're gonna bring that in. So that's obviously for me. I've done framing, I've been a tattoo artist, curator. I'm also an artist. So it's all these avenues of streams of income that I have to do, and that can be a very challenge of spending too much time on one thing because you're truly passionate about the other, but you have to spend more time on this because this is what's actually bringing in the income. So that challenge in itself has been very hard for me, and that's the reason why I personally have stopped tattooing the last year, because I love it, it's cool, but it was never a passion of mine. It was, I not necessarily fell into it because of where I was at and who I was around, and I enjoyed it as a new skill. But for me, it's I want to be known as a great painter, and so I just want to focus all of my energy and time into that. I want to be able to continuously encourage people. I want people to go for their ideas, even if you think it sounds stupid, even if you don't agree with it. It's about just the act of doing. And that's what I get out of my work. You can have all the ideas in the world. If you ain't doing nothing, it means nothing. So I'm a doer, and that's what it's about. And I want people to also see that as that he does it. No matter what, he does it. He gets it done. That's it. My name is Quamaine Giles. I'm an abstract painter, I'm a community builder, a curator. This is my voice, and this is my life.